All right, let's talk about how can a person start a freelancing career. I started off my journey as a freelance animator a few years ago, and now I have a team of about 20 odd people. We get to work with some of the biggest brands out there. I personally own a private jet, a yacht, and a private island. Well, some of those things may not be true, but what I'm trying to get to is that with the experience that I've had, I've learned a thing or two about freelancing, and I hope that I can share my experience and the learnings that I've had along the way with you. Now, I'm going to try to keep this very simple. So I have a 5-step process. Well, let me see. I think it may be 6 steps, but we're going to talk about how can you start as a freelancer, someone who has a skill, and learning how you can make money by selling your services. Let's get into it. Step number 1, define what you're going to be offering. Figure out what you want to do and what services you want to offer to your clients. For example, if you're a designer, you could be selling design services or video animation services. If you're a coder, if you like programming, you could be doing that. Or if you're into selling drugs, you can do that. We'll scratch that. We're going to cover that in a separate video. The first thing I want you to understand is that there's a lot of competition in the space, and there's a lot of people that are really talented at what they do. What you have to do, or the mindset that you have to start this process, is that you have to get exceedingly good at what you do. The easiest way, I guess, to do that is to pick a field that you really like, something that you like doing, something that you're passionate about. Once you understand that, it becomes easy to put in the hours to get really good at that skill. I don't believe that there's a certain scope or a certain demand for a particular skill. I believe that if you get really good at something, people, businesses, they will find you. So don't get caught up into, if there's a certain demand, or if there's, people, you're not sure if you're gonna be able to sell that particular service. Just focus on getting good, really good at what you do. All right, so step number 2, create your website. Now there's 2 ways to do it. The first one is you can get a free website done, and there's a lot of services out there. My favorite is Wix. I think they've been out there for many years now, so they have a lot of templates that you can pick and start customizing them. If you have any troubles customizing templates, the cool part is that there's a lot of YouTube tutorials and a lot of resources on their website that you can check out and learn how you can build your website for free. That's the first method that you can get your website done. The second one is if you have a little cash that you can spend. In this method, what you'll be doing basically is you can go to themeforest.net, and I'm gonna put the link. And what you can do is you can pick a template and then find a freelancer who can customize that website template for you. Let me show you how that will be done. All right, so I have ThemeForest open here, and let's look at this. So I'm gonna type in, let's say, creative portfolio. And there's a bunch of templates that that you're going to find here. So they're pretty reasonable in terms of the pricing. So you can open and check out some of these templates, pick the one that you really like. So I have, for example, this template that I thought was pretty well done. It's neat and it's clean. So once you have your template, the one that you've picked for your website, the next thing you want to do is go to, let's say, Fiverr or Upwork.com, find a freelancer and give them the content, for example, your images and the text, the website copy, and they'll customize the template for you. You can find good freelancers, I believe, that can customize a single page website within, let's say, $200. It can go up to $500. So if you have that kind of money and you want to invest in your website, that's the other way to go about it. All right, so there's a few things that I would like you to consider when you're doing your website. The first thing is spend time in finalizing the copy of your website. Now, that's something that I've seen personally that is given the least importance when people are developing their website. But consider that, it's your website, and the copy that you've written is basically what you're talking to your prospects. Clients that may want to work with you, you're speaking to them. So it's really important that you put in the time and effort to write that copy. And if you're someone like me who sucks at writing, find a professional writer to write it for you, but definitely spend time making sure that the copy is good. So the second thing that I would like you to consider when developing your website is I would recommend to stick to a single page website as compared to a multi-page website. And the reason that I say that is I think for a individual freelancer, I think a single page website, if you pick the right content, if you pick the right sections for your website, is good enough to showcase your skill and talk about you. And it takes less time and effort. I highly recommend that you pick a single page website template for your website. And then when you're doing your website, I think there's definitely a few sections that are important that I believe should be part of your website. So for example, the template that I was showing you here, I think it's good to have your profile picture first off in the website. It makes it more personalized. People who are looking to work with you can see your face and understand who they're working with. So it really helps build the trust. Make sure it's professional, of course. Your picture. Have a about me section that basically is a short biography about you, what you do, what your interests are, and I think it definitely helps giving a little bit more to the people that are reading to learn more about you. I think having a services section is really important in your website to clearly outline that these are the services that you offer. So for example, if you're a graphic designer, that's great, but then mention that, okay, you do flyers or you do website design or whatever that is. I think mentioning those things is really important in your services section of your website. You can find a way to get testimonials. I think that's lovely because it helps build trust, and it can really help when customers are looking at your website. They're wanting to work with you, but they're a little bit hesitant. So I think the testimonials really come in handy if you have them on your website. Then of course have a contact form, a way for people to get in touch with you. And it could be a contact form, or you can go with, for example, just add your email, your contact number, so people know how they can get in touch with you. And lastly, but most importantly, have a portfolio, of course. And that also is step number 3 in becoming a successful freelancer. So let's talk about how you can build an impressive portfolio that can get people to work with you. As we all know, building a good portfolio is a key factor in getting work. There's probably 2 situations that you may be in. So the first one is that you are starting out and you don't have enough work to showcase. And the second one is that you have some work to put in your portfolio. Let's talk about the second one first. I'm not sure why I did that, but let's talk about the second aspect first. One tip that I have is that if you have good amount of work that you can showcase on your website, do not fall in the trap of showcasing everything. I think it's best to pick, let's say if you have 10 or 15 portfolio samples, only pick the best, let's say 3, 4, 5, 6. The work that you're yourself proud of, and the kind of work that you feel will bring in more work, or the kind of work that you want to do in, as a part of services that you want to offer. So only pick the best work that you have and put that in your portfolio if you already have work to put in the website. And then let's say you don't have any work, you're just starting out and you're not sure what to put in your portfolio. So what I would say is that if, let's say, you're an illustrator and you like designing characters, for example, what I would do is I would go on, for example, Pinterest, I'll check Behance, Dribble, and I'll pick a few different character designs, the ones that I personally like that are high quality. And then I'm gonna try to create something similar and put that work on my website. So if you don't have enough work, just create work based on, let's say, fictional companies. Yeah, that should never stop you from from continuing building your website. Step number 4 learn how to sell. And this is, I guess, one of the most important parts or the most important aspects when you're looking to start a freelancing career. And let me tell you, I've seen excellent creators. They're hugely, immensely talented, but they don't know how to sell. While I've seen people, who don't have, for example, groundbreaking work, but they know how to sell their services and they're much more successful. So it's really important that you learn how to sell your work. And I guess the first thing that you can do is read books about selling. And, my personal favorite is Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone, but there's tons of books out there. And let's say if you're not someone that likes reading books, you don't have that habit, there's tons of other ways. So for example, me, I'm not a book reader. So what I've done recently is listen to audiobooks. So that worked for me, my commute to work and the way back, I would listen to audiobooks. They really help. And then if that doesn't work, for you, read blogs that talk about, how to improve your selling skills. You could, of course, follow YouTube channels, people who are in the space who teach, how to sell. Follow them, learn a few different things, and try to implement those in your process. All right, so the second thing that I want you to consider when you're selling your services is never undersell yourself. For example, if you're starting out your career, it's okay to charge little in order for you to build your portfolio, to understand how the whole system works. Here's the thing, when you set yourself for the rates, for example, that you're going to charge your clients and you're not pushing yourself, that's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make. So always be looking to push your rates as you get experience in the space. And trust me, you'll be surprised at how much more that you can make once you start pushing your rates up. So definitely keep that in mind. So another important thing that you should consider when you're selling your services is stop selling, start helping, and actually start caring about your clients, how you can actually help them and solve their problems. So this is not a sales tactic to me. To me, this is a shift in your mindset. So from thinking about how you can make a certain amount of money or, what this project or this job gives you, start thinking about what you bring to the table for the client. How can you solve their problem? So ask them questions, try to understand what problem they're solving. If they're looking for a website, why they're looking to get a website done, who's their target audience, what can you do to create a website that can bring them sales or brand awareness, whatever that is. So start helping, stop selling. All right, so we're at step number 5. Step number 5 is finding your clients. Now you'd be like, okay, Osama, I understand steps 1, 2, 3, 4. I understand what I want to do. I understand, I've created a website and, I have a killer portfolio and I've learned how to sell, but now what? How do I sell, what I do? So the first thing that you got to do is focus or utilize social media. Now you got to start promoting yourself, and I would say start promoting yourself shamelessly. What I mean by that is that you should be trying to fill up your friends, your family, your networks, social media timelines with the posts that talk about who you are, what you do, and how you do it. So I've seen this personally, that people in my network or the people that I talk to who want to start something, want to start a business, and they're hesitant to put themselves out there. They'll do a single social media post and then afterwards they'll disappear just from the fear of what this XYZ person is gonna say, or the fear of being judged. So you gotta let that go. You gotta keep posting content. You gotta start talking about what you do. You gotta start talking about the industry as a whole. Share your experience, share your insights, what you learned, and you gotta keep doing that consistently over and over again. My experience, what I've seen is that friends and family most of the times become your first clients. Don't underestimate that. Connect with the people that you already know and tell them what you do and how you can bring value to them. All right, so the second thing that you can do is find a freelancing platform. There's tons of them out there. The most popular one is Upwork. So I would say learn a little bit about Upwork if you already are not familiar. It's basically a freelancing platform where people who are looking for certain services, they can post jobs. And then there's freelancers who want to provide services, have their profiles. So create your account and make sure that you spend time to perfect your profile and polish it. Add your work samples, add good copy in your introduction section of the profile. Again, that goes back to my original comment about making sure that the copy on your website and wherever you post content is good. All right, so once you've created your account, make sure that you spend time on creating your profile. Don't just create it as a step-by-step process that, okay, I've now created my account and I just need to finish completing my profile, but make sure that you spend time on writing, for example, the copy that's included in your profile. Make sure that you add good portfolio samples. So definitely put in time to complete your profile. And then once you're done, start posting proposals. And this is the thing about proposals, a couple of tips that I have. Keep your proposals short. That's really, really important. What you need to understand is that when clients post jobs on these freelancing websites, they'll probably be seeing, let's say, between 20 to 50 proposals. And if you have long paragraphs in your proposal, they would not want to read it, of course. So make sure that you keep it concise and you include important aspects, for example, your work, and ask them questions, for example, about the job so that they understand that you've actually read what they're looking, to get done, and you're interested in completing that work. And trust me, you gotta keep posting proposals over and over again. And what I've seen is that a lot of people, they lose hope when they post, let's say, 5 proposals, 10 proposals, and they don't see results. It's just based on simple fact that once you start posting proposals, you're gonna learn a few things. When you get responses, you're gonna see what are the things that you are doing right and what are the things that you should avoid. So it's a learning process. Just keep doing that. And you're gonna, land your first job, and then another one, and then, another one. Do I sound like DJ Khaled now? Anyways, that brings us to the last stage, which is the most important stage. I know I've said that a few times, but trust me, this is definitely one of the most important things that you need to consider is be consistent. And it starts from, as I said before, keep applying for jobs, keep posting content, keep putting yourself out there. I think it's great to have ambitious goals, but set low expectations and, be prepared to be patient. So these are some of the things that, that are really important and that are going to help you in your career if you're patient and if you're going at it over and over again, and you have the perseverance to keep going at it and not losing hope. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, share it with your friends that may find this useful, and stay tuned for more content. Thanks.